I decided to give up suffering today. And the only reason we suffer is because we are denying who we are. We're denying ourselves. And I know that. I've known it for a really long time, but I was still doing it. I was still suffering. And I got up this morning and it was really heavy. I didn't know what was going on. I just felt this heavy energy and I said, I can't do this anymore. And I couldn't even get out of bed for a while. And then I sat and I listened to a couple of things, and then I listened to Molly McCord. I mentioned a few of these people in what I wrote this morning, and so you can read that and you'll see references, but I just want to talk about them because it was two people, Molly McCord and Tanya Gabrielle, and I'll send this to them. I'm going to mention them in it because it was really helpful. When I was listening to Tanya the other night, she's an astrologer, numerologist, or she calls herself something different, I don't know, but you can, I'll leave her name and all of that, and she started talking about what was happening in the world, and she made a reference to 2012, which I've spoken of often. And then she went back to 1988. And when she said that, I said, oh, I can't listen anymore. And so I went to sleep because I do that a lot. When I get something that's so right there in my face that's telling me something, I just kind of, let me run away, put my head in the sand or go under the covers or something so I won't have to deal with it. Many people do that. You do that. You hear something or there's something in front of you. Oh, I can do that, but no, I'm not going to. Let me just hide out. I did that. And I've done that most of my life, but I can't do that anymore because I also know what's happening in our world. And as much as I've been speaking about this, it was really challenging for me to put it in words that where people could get it, because I didn't want you to be afraid. I didn't want you to be upset. And I just wanted you to understand what was happening. And I couldn't have you understand how I knew, because it was challenging for me to accept how I knew, and that's why I was suffering. And that's why I was not being my authentic self. We are each meant to live as our authentic selves, meaning that we can't hide anything. We can't judge anything about ourselves. We just have to figure out why we have it and then use it to make our lives better. And that's the work that I do, but I had to do it on myself first. Isn't that crazy? But that's how we coach. You coach what you know, what you come to understand. And what I understand is that when you become your authentic self, all the stuff that's going on in the world doesn't bother you. You get through it, you get over it, even with your family and friends, because that's what we're moving through. And after I wrote this piece this morning, because I just had to get it out after I stopped my crying and got out of the bed, and I wrote this piece, and then I saw something on the news or a report what was going on, and it validates what I've been writing about for the last couple of years and what happened here in the United States. And I kept saying we're going through a restructuring in the United States would lead the way, and people were like, what does that mean? And now we're seeing it. And I said things are not going to be the same. Nothing is happening the way it used to. We're not in a different place. And I knew this. Didn't know why I knew it, but I absolutely knew it. And I've been driven for years to help people and to get them to understand so we could live this wonderful life and have this great world that we all wanted to have. But I forgot about something else, and that was my brain. See, we don't change right away. We have to keep working on it. It's our thinking that gets in the way, that stops us, that prevents us, that causes every limitation. And then we start to judge ourselves, which is what I did, because this is too strange. I can't tell people something that's going to help them, even though I've been doing it for so many years. Let me just hide out a little bit longer. But we are in a different place in the world, and I absolutely know why all of this is occurring, and it's caused to make us better. But it doesn't get better unless we each start to do something, meaning what is within us. What are we here to do? And I know what I'm here to do, and just kept holding back because they're not going to get it. The other problem I have is this, and I've done it many, many times, and you'll read this in part of this in there, but I've always put other people before me. Always. I have gone broke many times because I was going to save something for everyone else. Did that in New York. I had this business that I went completely broke, lost everything that I had because it was too important for me. I had to help everyone else. And I did the same thing when we went through a great recession. I did the same thing there. No, I'm going to hold on to everything because everyone else is more important. I can't do that now because we have to change. And the world is changing. And that's part of this shift, which I've also talked about. We're shifting the wealth and income inequality that has existed in our world forever. And so this is a time and change, galactic evolutionary change that is occurring in our world that we're each supposed to pay attention to. And I've been holding back because I could have done so much more. Let's see, I sabotage myself. And the way I sabotage myself is that if I can go broke, then I won't have to do anything because I can scramble and try to go around and do something else that can take up all my time. I won't have to think about why I'm really on the earth. That's really what it is. And so as I started looking at all of this, I went back and found some things where I began, because I've known this period in time that we're moving through right now. I've known it was coming, and I was getting ready for it a long time ago. My Wilhelm told me you were being prepared. I couldn't accept that. I didn't understand for what. What am I going to do with it? So then in about 2015, I started getting these feelings, now something's changing. 2016, I knew that I had to do something different. And then I even wrote an article. I mentioned this before. It's called, I might be slightly racist with misogynistic tendencies. And when you read the article, you can see I knew that we were moving through something that was going to involve gender, that we were needing some sort of balance, some sort of shift that was going to happen. And it was going to be racial things as well, because we're always moving through that. We're always trying to figure out who's going to be better, who's going to be in control. I'm talking about throughout civilization, not just this one particular time. It's gone on forever. And then when I go back and I listen to my live conversations, my Wilhelm conversations, it's all there. Everything that's going on, I said it. It came out of my mouth. But why couldn't I believe that? Why couldn't I hold on to that? That's the same thing that every single person does. And the work that I'm going to do now is to work with people so we get over that. So you start to own who you are, so you start to know why you're in the world, and you can do something that's productive. And then we have a different world, and we won't go through what we're doing now, destroying the planet, having wars, fighting with one another, and having a lot of division. And it changes when each person decides to love and own who they are, and that is their authentic self, not something that someone else gave you or taught you. We have to break through that. That's why this is all happening. Everything that's gone on in the world in the last couple of years is the universe telling us, we want you to be better. We want your planet to survive, so maybe you should change, and maybe I should do that. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing another channeling session tomorrow, and I hope you show up, because I know it's going to be a great one. I don't know what's going to come through, all of it, but I know where it's leading me. Because, see, I doubted the whole thing about 2012. I can't do that anymore because it's all in front of me. It's all right here. But even beyond that, I have known for years that I had this ability to receive information and work and give it to others and just help people in that way. And I didn't talk about it, I just did it. When I'm working with a client, I'll just say things and I'll just read things with you and I'll just say it. And most times I don't even remember what it was, because it's like that. That's made it so challenging for me, because when I would receive things, I don't remember it right away. I have to go back and see it. But now I know what's there. And it's really kind of funny. I had several different names for my program over time, because I've always been working on this. I always knew where I was supposed to go, even though I kind of shoved it away. As I said in the article in 2005, I knew right there what I was supposed to do. But no, can't do that yet, because I still had to change my brain. It's a mental process. We do that all the time. And this is kind of funny. This was when I first started. I had this idea. I'm going to do something. This is called Overcoming Everything. And I had a business partner at that time, and I'm sending him the information. I said, this is what I'm going to talk about, because I know this is the most important things that's going to help people get to where they want to be. Get over anything that's going on in your life. And I said, perceptions. That's the first thing that I started with. We only experience anything in our lives through our perceptions, how we choose to see things. And we create that. Okay, and what stands in the way of living a happy, successful, and fun life? Not being yourself. All of it's here. Emotions. Why can't we understanding our emotions? I said, no, your emotions are valuable. They lead you somewhere so you can understand who you are. Can't be afraid of them, but we still doubt that. And then I went on to challenges in life. How to get over it. I had all of it. And then living your ideal life. I knew that too. Couldn't do it though. But then I went beyond that. So I said, okay, we'll have that. So now I'll do a program. I sat and I put so much work into this. I had all of these different sections, and I had people, because I want you to understand that the most important thing about your life is you're supposed to be happy, and you can be happy when you decide to be who you are, but it takes some time. All you have to do is work through your restrictions and your limited thinking, and I knew all of it. And I kept putting it away. I can't do that. You can't do that either. What's happening now is the entire world is changing. It's a global change. It's not just in one place. And we're going to pick a side. We are, and I knew this was coming, and I've said this. You're going to choose. You're not going to choose what other people are. You're not going to choose what they're choosing necessarily. And it might even be within your own family. And that's gone on. It's been in my family. So I understand this. But when you know who you are, when you become your authentic self, you don't worry about that. You love yourself. And then you start loving them, and you allow them to have their opinions and all of that as well. And that was the work that I was meant to do, but kept hiding out a little bit and sabotaging myself. So I'm no longer doing that. And the way that I did it was we're each working through something generationally. I want you to understand that. And it's within us. It's been in our blood and our DNA. And for me, it was about money. I can remember how my parents dealt with things, what I saw when I was younger. Those things get implanted in you, and so you start thinking, well, I don't deserve anything. And I kept doing that. I mean, I had one time when I was a kid, 12 years old, I had a bike. I saved for this. And it was, I saved green stamps. You might not remember, but it was a thing that we could do then, where you could save these stamps after you go to the store, and you could cash them in for merchandise. I was a kid. I saved forever. I got my parents and family, everybody got the bike. Then it was stolen. My brother borrowed it, and it was stolen. I took that incident and thought, oh, I'm not supposed to have anything. I worked so hard for this, but I can't have anything. This is what I heard last night with Dr. Joe Dispenza. those images that we get that happen sometimes when we were much younger, but he was specifically talking about 12. I go, that's crazy, but I was about that age. And you implant that. I can't do that anymore. You can't do that. We're in a place where we're supposed to prosper, and we're supposed to move forward. When you read the article that I did and that posting that was there from a couple of years ago, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But again, I just wanted to point this out because I'm going to make some changes in what I'm doing, and I hope you do the same thing, because I can't keep going on charging what I'm charging and not getting the value that I should have. It's not the example that I'm supposed to leave for everyone. So that's what I am changing, and I hope you do as well. And please come to the channeling session tomorrow. It's going to be a really good one. All right, see you soon.